what is one piece of advice that you've been given over the years that has really stuck with you, or even that you'd want to pass on to our listeners?
I think the biggest piece of advice is really, and this is a conversation that I've had kind of halfway through my career, is really kind of overcoming imposter syndrome. And I think that's been a term that's like been really thrown around, is don't let that paralyze you. Realize that everybody is still trying to figure it out. As much as people see me as a marketing expert, I don't necessarily see myself as a marketing expert. And it's constantly getting over that and knowing that I am a marketing expert and I'm an expert in kind of my lane. And I've shown up to so many conferences where it's like the CMO or vice president or president of, so-and-so, these major brands. And we get to having conversations. And once I see through all of the buzzwords, I'm like, wait, you really don't get it yet. And we're all, and that's okay. We're all still trying to figure it out. And you guys raised something really early on in kind of the podcast of how it changes so frequently. And I think once you kind of understand that it's constantly evolving, constantly changing, you're never going to fully understand everything. That little piece of advice is like, don't worry about having imposter syndrome. We're all trying to figure it out, is one of the things that put me at ease and really helped me become a better marketer, because I'm not so much worried about like catching up to everybody else, just understanding where I'm at and continuing to grow that skill set.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I think that's really good, because I also struggle with imposter syndrome. But one thing that's helped me too is thinking about like, you should always be feeling like an imposter if you're growing. Like you should always be entering rooms where you feel like you're not qualified, or working with a client that feels really big, or like confronting something that feels scary and challenging and like you feel unqualified for, because that just means that you're growing. So I was like, how do I overcome this? But like the truth is, like, if you're doing your job and you're growing, and you're expanding your reach and all those things, you should always be wrestling with imposter syndrome. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like a byproduct of growth, which is a positive thing.
Yes.